Hey guys, couple of you on. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit later than I normally am. Of course, that's not unusual, but I started my meditation and it was like they had a lot to say. I've been in meditation this whole time, so when I've been writing everything down, there's just a lot going on right now in the world. Okay. Hi guys. I'm gonna get on here, that way I can see the comments as they go by. Okay. There we go. Okay, just let me know when you're on, guys. Okay. Alright. No, I don't want to cast. Okay. Hi, Rosina. I'm doing okay. How are you doing, hun? I guess just as well as everybody else is during all this. One day at a time. I am a nurse, so I don't get to take time off and be at home and all that, so I have to deal with things as they go. Policy changes every day and, you know, all that good stuff. So, just as much as all the rest of yous. And like I said, I apologize for being a little bit later. I started my meditation and it was like my guides had a lot to say. So I did write a lot of stuff down, so I'll cover some of it along with some other stuff that I've been kind of collecting throughout the week on my own, that I wanted to go over. Yes, one day at a time. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you. And you know, I don't work in a hospital, so I am grateful for that right now. Of course, yes, I would like to help out more and be proactive in fighting all of this, of course. But on the other hand, I am kind of grateful that I don't work in a hospital right now. I do go to patients' homes and take care of them there, so I'm less exposed, but then again, just as much, you know, being out in the community, it's probably not a whole lot different. So, but, like I said, all I can do is one day at a time, and that's about it. I'm gonna scoochie this camera over, that way you can see my son's crib. There we go. Okay. So I kind of wanted to shy away from talking about all this COVID stuff because, you know, for one, I'm just ready for it to be over, you know, and I think that you guys deserve a little something different rather than everybody else and the media talking about it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about dimensions and reincarnation. Reincarnation has really been on my consciousness in the past week or so. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Goodness. So, and I kind of started my meditation on that, and one of the main points that came through, and let me go back to my notes here. So reincarnation is something that most of you are familiar with. But the past few weeks, and really since all of that stuff started, it's like everything's heightened, everything's, I don't know, it's really hard to explain, it's just different. It's probably just the increased energy, it's the increased Schumann, it's the increased you know, just perception of the whole collective right now that's just making it feel different, I think. Or maybe I'm perceiving it different, I don't know. But So I started in and asking my guys a few questions on, actually I asked them to kind of pull through any kind of um, messages that they might have had on it, something that we don't already know about it. And honestly, one of the things that I wrote down here that came through in my meditation just now is, and this came from my guys, specifically Mayela, which is a newer guide of mine, at least one that's just been newer, uh, um, uh, newer, announced to me, I should say. Is that the word for it? Um, Introduced to me, because I know she's been there for a while, but she just kind of recently stepped forward, and that's one thing that I have learned is that, we all have multiple guides. We don't just have one, we have multiple. And each one kind of does a different thing for you. So as you move through your life and move in and out of different circumstances and situations and experiences, another one will step forward and kind of like specializes in that area, like just like the same as nursing. Like there's not the same kind of nurse everywhere. Each one, you have cardiac, you have respiratory, you have GI, you've got hospice, you've got home health. Each guide is going to specialize in different areas of your experiences, different areas of your life, and step in and out as needed. So she's come forward recently, again more specifically in the last couple of weeks, and I just found out that I was mispronouncing her name. So, and she had me spell it out. So it's Mayela is her name. But she stepped forward and she says, her words, that we have had a hard time conveying messages to humanity on soul contracts, reincarnation, and many other items. But since humanity suddenly knows where to begin, we have changed our teaching arrangements and teaching guides. So that tells me that for whatever reason in the last couple of weeks there's been a huge consciousness shifts. And humanity itself, the collective, has changed their perception on a lot of things, sure. But it's like all of a sudden everybody is more open. And like all of a sudden everybody is like, I don't want to say getting messages to themselves. Well, okay, everybody's getting messages. Yes, that's not what I mean. But everybody's opening up to the fact that there could be more. So they've actually had to kind of hold meetings, from what I understand, or whatever a meeting would be like in those kind of dimensions, but and actually change their teaching structure to where, okay, oh my gosh, now everybody's understanding it a little bit better. Now what do we do? Because when you're on a certain level of consciousness, just like your grades in school, kindergarten does not get taught the same way that 7th grade does, okay? Humanity itself has stepped forward in their learning, okay? So it's like we're all on a different stage. So it's like we moved up a grade. So were we at kindergarten and they were college level, our guides are, we kind of move into like 1st grade. So we're learning better, we're learning quicker, we're learning different. So they've actually said that our perception of everything has completely shifted. Because when I was asking about specifically what messages they would like to give me on reincarnation, they're like, you need to just revamp everything you know. Because what we were teaching you before has a different perception of what we were teaching you before. And I was going over, because reincarnation has a lot to do with contracts, twin flames, all of that. And specifically with twin flames and reincarnation, how they tie together is that, twin flames, they were, how they were teaching before is that twin flames were the same soul that had split and are now leading kind of adjacent lives, and it's very rare they meet, etc., etc. But then they were telling me, they were coming in and saying that you need to understand that a little bit different, in a sense of take what you know with reincarnation, right? Because reincarnation is the sense that we are born again and we lead different lives and we repeat the same lessons until we learn, and then we repeat our life until we learn something about ourselves that we are needing to learn. Yes, absolutely. And, if you listen to all these, if you ever listen to reincarnation, past life readings, you know that, past life readings are somebody started a life in 1800 and died in 1850, and then they started another life in 1853 and died in 1880, alright, and then they started another life in 1885, and okay, so on and so forth. But they actually want us to get away from that. Yes, absolutely, that may be correct. Someone may have lived those consecutive lives, yes. But I'm speaking from my guides here, so what they want us to know is that humanity needs to understand that we can also live simultaneous lives. So when you're speaking in a sense of twin flames, that's where you need to really put your perspective on your simultaneous lives, okay? So simultaneous lives actually is what you would pertain to twin flames. So they are literally the same soul living a simultaneous life, okay? Does that make sense? I'm going to share to the main oracle group here. There we go. Okay, that way everybody can find me. I was just scrolling, came across you. Happy Easter. Very cool. Yes, happy Easter to you all. Happy Resurrection Day. So it kind of puts a whole new spin on things, simultaneous lives. And you know what? The way that consciousness works, there's no reason why that couldn't be. Why couldn't we live simultaneous lives? And that doesn't mean that we are in two different bodies and born on the exact same day, and on the exact same day we pass away and go back to home. That's not particularly what I'm saying. You can be born at any time, in any country, and then also be born at this time, because that's the way consciousness works. And then when you hear all this channeling about we are one, we have lived this life here and this life there, well, then wouldn't we have lived all lives? Wouldn't we have lived all lives? If we are all one, wouldn't we have lived all life possible on this planet that has ever lived? Okay, which is why so many psychics, mediums and all that can kind of tap into so-and-so's life here and so-and-so's life there, because we are all one. We have lived that. We can all pick up on everything. Okay, I hope that kind of makes sense, but that's, when we are connected all as one, that's the way it's possible. Okay. What about questions, guys? Do you have any questions about anything particular? Feel free to just jump on and ask your question, and if I don't know the answer, I'll listen for my guides to come in and see if they have anything to say. They've been kind of talkative, very talkative the last couple of days. I'll tell you what, in the past week, I have been getting, and I really need to be making my channeling videos on the YouTube channel, because the past week, let me go back and see here, 5 out of 7 days in the last week, I have gotten enough channelings from my guides and information from my guides, and I can create a video for each night. You know, my channeling videos that I make on YouTube. And I really need to get up on that because I've gotten so much information. A lot of it has to do with, you know, big changes. You know, one of mine, actually, what was said was, let me see here, something big is happening to everyone. Let me see here. And we are getting some interference, of course. You know, the interference is coming from, you know, dark side cabal-like people. They're trying to stop this, you know, of course. We are going through our big change, guys. I mean, we really are. We are going through our big change. Let me tell you something about, well, something. Okay. About evolution. Anytime there's a big leap in evolution, there has been some type of catastrophe, whether it's volcano, earthquake, supervolcano, asteroid, virus, okay, pandemic rather, I should say, not just a virus. There has been correlations with these types of things with huge jumps in evolution. It's recorded in history. It's right in front of our eyes, okay? And I'll tell you what, they have done studies, okay, on, and it's not very good the way that they have done their studies because of how they conduct them, but what they do is, you know, they're curious on if fear, what does fear do to the human consciousness? What does fear do when you're correlating it with this evolution that we all go through, all species? They were conducting studies where they would take a certain animal species, okay, and I'm just going to use beavers for an example, okay, because that's just easy. So beavers, they were studying on beavers. How do they evolve? Okay, so they know that they rely on a certain amount, a certain thing of food to eat. Okay, and I really don't know what beavers eat. I suppose they eat grass and limbs and that. So, or I'm just gonna say a certain kind of tree. Okay, so they eat this certain kind of tree bark. Okay, and they were curious on if fear and stress, what would that do to evolution of this species? Would it adapt to its environment? So they took the beaver, or a certain number of beavers, to where they could still reproduce and, you know, live a couple of generations, moved them to an island to where there was no trees, okay, and they had to hopefully find other sources of food and evolve. So, and they found that their findings were right. Their findings were in the midst of fear for survival and for their own survival, and you know, being able to eat and reproduce, and that this beaver actually, they adapted. They were under a great amount of stress, yes, at first, especially at first, and they almost died out, except they gave in, adapted, found other sources of food, and their digestive tracts actually were adapting to the new source of food. And, you know, they lost a little bit of hair because of the different environment. Within a couple of generations, they were seeing this. Now, mind you, a couple of generations with a beaver is not, you know, like it is for human, but so you're talking in about 30 years, they were able to see a change, which is a couple of generations for this beaver. And they were doing this with multiple species. Okay, so I'm not a fan of how they were conducting their experiments, of course, but on the other hand, it does prove that fact. Not that I'm saying fear is the right way to go. I don't, absolutely not. But when you're looking at what, I'm just pertaining it to what's going on right now, okay? Everything is fear-mongering, okay? We are all, as a whole, humanity, everybody, all 7.5 billion people on this planet, are all going through one single stressor, a major stressor. Okay. We are all evolving rather quickly right now. Okay. Okay, so somebody's got a question. I don't want to. I would love to know. This is Kez. I would love to know if this is okay. I'm working on my mediumship. If I will be able to hear and see, feel soon. Yeah, I know, Kez. And not just you. I feel like everybody's evolving a little bit quicker right now, as I'm saying. But you know, the main thing to do is keep doing your inner work. That is the most important thing when you're trying to develop your gifts. It has nothing to do with how many times a day do you meditate. Of course, yes, I guess it does. You do need to practice your meditation and clearing your mind, and you know, paying attention to your surroundings and becoming more aware of things. Absolutely. But the number one important thing is to do your inner work, your inner soul work. That right there is going to develop your gifts faster, more than anything. So if you know, continue along those lines and keep doing your inner work and finding yourself and accepting yourself and loving yourself and then loving those around you, becoming more positive, watching your automatic thoughts, changing your automatic thoughts, you know, those things right there are going to get you so far, so quick. Hey, Aaron. Hello. Hi, Don. Awesome. Hi, Malik. I'm so sorry to pull you out of what you're talking about, but do you know if Spirit Cove is a reputable company? Or if you have things I can buy? I need crystals. I've got some crystals. I don't know anything about Spirit Cove. I don't believe I've ever purchased anything from them. So I'm sorry I couldn't tell you anything about that. But I do have crystals. What are you looking for specifically? I've got so many crystals. Let's see. I've been working on my inner self, self-care, self-love, and also shadow work. I'm getting there. Again, because that is the number one thing that you could ever, if you're going to work on anything, that's going to get you the farthest, hun. You know, and I didn't, you know, I spent, at first, I'm like, I spent so much time trying to meditate right, and trying to, you know, do the whole calming the mind thing, and I was focused more on my meditation than I did myself, if that makes any sense. So that I wasn't eating right, I wasn't taking care of myself, you know, and no, I didn't get very far. So trust me, believe you me, from experience, that's what's going to get you. You know, finding out what your karma is that you need to, you know, in a sense, pay back, paying back that karma, paying it forward. And you know, then, you know, another point is being okay with your karma, because some of us are ashamed of our karma, you know, and it doesn't necessarily mean this life, you know, past life karma that I think in a sense, we're all paying back right now in this lifetime. And some of us are ashamed of the things that we've done. Well, that's going to hold us back whenever we have that shame, whenever we have that regret. That's going to hold us back. So we actually need to accept it and be okay with it and almost like it, because then the healing, when you do that, then the healing kind of comes natural. And honestly, whenever you forgive yourself, as well as others, of course, but most humanity is going to have the hardest time forgiving self. The healing just kind of comes natural. That's all you need to do, you know, and then you just kind of find that later on you've already healed from it, and you really haven't had to do any kind of work, because forgiving thyself releases that energy altogether. Okay, so that later on you just realize that, you know what, that hasn't even bothered me, you know, because you've already released that energy with that forgiveness, with just expressing that forgiveness. That gives you so much power. Absolutely. The Kabbalah Baha'i. Oh yes, I love that too. And you know, it's up there most times when I do my lives. It just seems like I never get the camera angle right, I guess, to where you guys can't see it. But yeah, it is up there. And I had the light a little bit better this time too. I don't know what I done. Life hates me. Oh gosh. The board thinking means a lot to me. I'm looking for protection, mental clarity, and issues with my emotions and pain. So protection, you want to do like a black tourmaline. I think I've got some of that. Mental clarity is usually your clear quartz. And then emotions is anything you do with heart. So like Larimar, trying to think here, or pink quartz, rose quartz, specifically for the heart. Okay, I think I've got some of that. So just get a hold of me. Just message my private page, my private account, I should say, and then I'll look and see what I got after I'm done here. So Danya, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm so sorry. It's Dunja. Let me tell you, God does not hate you. Life does not hate you. You do not hate you. That is called, what you're going through is called the dark night of the soul, and it is imperative that we all go through that to have a deeper understanding about ourselves. Seems like right now is you are going through that. I call it a valley, okay? And we all have those valleys because that is our low points, okay? When we are at our low points, we actually learn the most about ourselves. When we are at our low points, we learn what triggers us. We learn what we don't like. We learn what we like, what we wish for, what we hope for, what we really want. We learn about what we really want when we are at our lowest point, okay? Just by looking at the things that we don't like. You know, especially when you're saying, you know, that, God hates you and your life hates you. You know what you don't want now, correct? You have learned what you don't want. So turn that around. Okay, you know what you don't want. So then ask yourself, since I know that means I know what I do want. So then turn that around. It's all about perception, dear. It's all about perception. Nobody hates you. You don't hate you. God doesn't hate you by any means. Okay? It's all about flipping that perception to things that you do want. Okay, so then you give that your focus. When we give things that we are not liking and things that are triggering us that focus, we give that all of our power. And that gets sucked out of us. We give that all of our power. We don't have enough power left for anything else, including ourselves. Okay, because whatever we're not liking, whatever's triggering us, whether it's a person or a place, okay, or a situation, we are giving that all of our power, okay? And then, again, we don't have any left for ourselves. Especially if it's a person, then we give all that person everything we've got. And then that's why we're low energy. That's why we're depressed. That's why we're in bed. That's why we are, when we suck out the positive, all that's left is the negative, and that's where the negative thoughts come in. So flip that around. Flip that around. Now you can see what you do want just from seeing the things that you don't. So give the things that you do want your focus. Okay. Whether it's a job. Okay, I know I don't like this job. Okay, so now I can focus on what I do want. So give that your focus. And give things that you hope for. Because just by being in that valley, you have told yourself many times, I wish for this. I wish for that. I wish this wasn't like this. I wish this was this. You know exactly what you do wish for. Give that your focus, okay? And any negative thing that comes in, just, I usually have my white light eggshell around me. I visualize anything negative just bouncing off of it. So if it's a negative thought or a negative energy or a negative situation, I just visualize that bouncing off of my white light eggshell barrier around me. And you'll be surprised how quickly that goes away. Whenever it cannot penetrate that, it just goes right back into where it came from. Okay. So give your focus to the things that you do want, that you do like, that you care about, that you wish for. Because again, you've told yourself many times, I wish this, I wish that. Okay, so focus on that, honey. But I'll tell you what, God 100%, 1,000%, 1,000,000% does not hate you. We choose some of the circumstances that we experience whenever we come here because we choose to learn from them. They're not meant to destroy us. They're not meant to tear us down. Well, I can't really say that because sometimes we have to be torn down to be rebuilt. Sometimes it takes that to strip us down to nothing so that we can rebuild for the things that actually benefit us. So sometimes it takes a little bit of stripping down the layers of the onion to rebuild for the better. Okay. It's just like spring cleaning, you take everything out of your house that you don't want anymore so that you're left with just a few things, and then so that you can bring in new things that further benefit you, because that old stuff was just taking up space. It was doing nothing for you. The same with situations. Whenever things fall and crumble to pieces, it's no longer serving you anymore. It's not doing you any good. You're not learning from it. You're done learning from it. You've been there, crossed that bridge, you're done. Okay, you now can focus on the things that are benefiting you, that love you, that care for you. You now have the opportunity to bring that into your life, because that is no longer taking up space. That's not benefiting you anymore. So now that you've got that open space, it's just like the apps on your phone. When you've got too much space, that you've downloaded enough apps that you don't have any more space to download anymore, but yet you don't play 98% of them. They've just been sitting there. You delete a bunch of them so that you can have new come in, correct? It's the same with our energy bodies. Same with our energy body, our emotional body, our mental body, and our physical body. Destructive until 2000s. Okay. My son's father was completely dreamy in every way. Well, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you on that one. Always throwing people to achieve a filming place, and thank you for helping. Absolutely. All my stuff first day at my ex on that come back and pick it up. And you know what, hon? That's okay. You don't have to go get it. That means that you have that much room to buy or to get or to fill your life with that actually benefits you. You can get all new, brand new things that actually will appreciate you back, whether that's a person, things, or places. Okay, you can now focus on and buy and fill your life with the things that now are going to benefit you more. Okay, so that's okay. You don't have to. Because chances are that stuff, if they are items, any particular item is going to have that kind of energy on it anyway. So even if you were to go get items and bring it back to where you're at now, that energy is on this item. So anytime you interact with this item, you're just going to be constantly reminded of that situation anyway. Okay, so that's okay. You don't have to go back and get that. Get all new stuff, pertaining to your new situations, okay? So, make new memories with new situations. Awesome. I have a place for the new stuff. Awesome. Good. Awesome. Cool. Yep. Well, cool. Does anybody else have any questions about anything? Okay. About reincarnation specifically, that's kind of what I wanted to focus on, or past lives, or twin flames. I don't know if you guys were all here when I started talking about the twin flame thing and how it correlates, or how it kind of goes with the reincarnation thing. Oh, thank you. And you know what? I can only speak to you from experience because, and I have been there, I definitely have been there. I don't feel like it's right that if I were to sit up here and try to counsel you on things that I have not been through, because how am I going to tell you things and understand how you feel and tell you how to get through something when I've not gone through that? Okay, that's not authentic. That's not right. So chances are when I'm speaking to you about a certain situation for that, it's either coming from my guides or I've been there. So, and I'm not afraid to tell you I've been there. I've been through a lot in just a short amount of time. But so I will. Looks like Aaron missed that. So the twin flame thing and how it kind of actually goes hand in hand with reincarnation is, reincarnation is, I'll just kind of repeat the whole thing. I'm sorry for those that have been here, but it's kind of important. There is a lot more on now too. So reincarnation has been on my consciousness for the past few weeks, and I've listened to a couple of past life hypnosis section, and which, by the way, guys, I can do past life readings, just FYI. So if you're interested, I would like to do some hypnosis sessions as well. Now, I have not tried them via FaceTime, or I've mainly done them in person, but I would like to try some through video messenger. There's no reason why that can't work. If I can, as long as I can see you and interact with you, I don't know why it wouldn't work. But however, I had been asking my guides, especially before I came out of here, whether or not they had, information on reincarnation that they would like me to pass on. So, and I got a very surprising answer, which is kind of why, and it was a very complicated answer, which is why I kind of was a little bit later coming on than what I initially said, was because, I asked them, do you have any messages you'd like me to pass on about reincarnation? And basically, I got an extended answer of, let me go in and read it again. Because I wrote it down. I typed it all out. Well, some of it. Okay. So this is from my guide. Specifically, her name is Mayela, which, again, I said I was actually mispronouncing her name. She made me type it out so that I would pronounce it right. Anyway, so this is what she said. We have reincarnation, twin flames, and many other items, but since humanity suddenly knows where to begin, we have had to change our own teaching arrangements and guidance. So what she was actually meaning is that beforehand, we are all learned on a different level. So, kindergarten is taught differently than high school, right? Kindergarten is taught differently than 7th grade or even 2nd grade. Okay, the teaching style changes over each time. So, with all this shifting going on and this all of a sudden further advancement, things have, again, I was talking before about how things have really changed in the last couple of weeks with all this. I mean, the world has literally changed, but what I really mean is our consciousness has changed. Like, our perception is different. My whole experiences in the last couple of weeks is different. My clairvoyance is different. Like, we have literally shifted, like, tenfold in the last couple of weeks since all this started. We have advanced. I mean, really, I can feel it. And that's what she's meaning, is that we have literally shifted in perception in the last couple of weeks. So the way that they're teaching us has changed. Oh my gosh, hi Casey, how are you? Awesome, it's good to see you on. Cool. You're in a good conversation. Really interesting. So again, the way that they're having to teach us is a little bit different. And actually, the way I'm understanding is that a lot more people all of a sudden are now open to being able to get messages. It's not that they weren't getting them before, they just had no clue. They were sleeping, they were oblivious, they couldn't pick up on it if their life depended on it. But all of a sudden, now people are like open. Okay, a lot more people, like millions, if not a few billion people, are just now all of a sudden. The way that, since the way that they're teaching us is different and our perception is different, she actually said that basically I'm gonna have to, like, unlearn kind of what I know about it, because she wanted me to, like, go into an understanding of, yes, we have past lives, and yes, we can have consecutive lives, like being born in 1800, passing away in 1850, being born again in 1854, and that's not wrong. Absolutely not. Yes, you can have consecutive lives. But she also kind of pulled into, whenever I was asking this in my meditation, she says that I need to understand that, yes, but you can also have consecutive lives, or, I'm sorry, simultaneous lives. Simultaneous lives. And then all of a sudden I got a vision of twin flames, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it. She's trying to show me, yes, the twin flame thing is the same soul, but we have understood that as the same soul that is split and is now in two different physical bodies, learning from two different perceptions. Okay, yes, and that's not wrong either. But you need to take the simultaneous life idea and then put it with your twin flames. So literally, that is why you have all this talk about your twin flame is you and you are them. Well, yeah, you are literally living a simultaneous life there, okay? And that doesn't mean that you are not living a simultaneous life somewhere else too, okay? Alright, on a different, complete learning level. You could have, I was born in 1987, you know what, and I could have, say I passed away in, 2080, okay? I could have lived again in 2100 to 2200, and then I could have chosen to come back and be born in 1990, okay? And that would technically be a simultaneous life with this one. So I would be out there living somewhere. But I'm on a completely different learning level, because since then, I have lived 2 other lives. And I have picked up information from those 2 lives, okay? I am completely different, okay? I really hope that I'm describing it okay. It sounds good in my head, okay? And I hope I'm getting it out. Okay. Passed away 4 years ago. Aaron, I don't feel like he's reincarnated yet. I feel like he will, but I don't feel like he has yet, honey. And another thing too to point out, just because maybe a family member has reincarnated doesn't mean that a piece of them isn't still in what we call heaven either. We haven't really left heaven, because we still have some of our energy in that dimension. We're like an origami, and each person is a different dimensional self of ourselves. Caught your line. I haven't seen you on in a very long time. I'm happy you guys are on. And actually, there's a lot more people. My mother had 24. I'm so ashamed. I almost died because that's fit. For that to be like that, and you are here, and you were born prematurely, you have a purpose here, hon. You have a purpose. I will say too, and this is, pertaining to your energy. I'm just looking out for you. I wouldn't hold on to too much of that shame or regret or anything like that, and that healing will take time, I understand that. So, but some of the purpose for you being here. Maybe there's a certain amount of forgiveness that needs to happen from that in your own time, okay, when you are ready for that. Night owl. Me too. Me too. You guys know I'm always on late. I love it. I work on my lives so much better at 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight than I do at noon. You know, my mind is awake. It's just how I worked. Do you believe the earth is how? So, wait, I think I missed. Do you think my best friend has reincarnated in 4 years? Her name was Caitlin. You know, oddly enough, I think she has, Aaron, and I do believe that even more odd is that I think her new name is Caitlin, too. So I don't know if you know a different Caitlin that has just been born, or, and maybe not, it may not be close by to you, but I think she has. I don't believe Earth is hell because, well, I believe Earth is what we make it. Okay, I really do. It's all about perception. If your perception of Earth is that it's hell, well, then you're going to make it that way. Okay, we are going to make our reality whatever we make it. It's up to us to make it how we want it. If how we want it is doom and gloom, then that's what we're gonna get. Okay, there's something, you know what? And there's something that came through in my meditation earlier before I came on pertaining to that, I believe. Let me look. Okay, let me go to my note section. Here we go. This is what she said. This is what my guide, Mayela said. Okay. Very, very pertaining. When the reality becomes the thought, that's the issue. When the thought becomes the reality, then we are evolving. Okay, so let me read that again. That's exactly what she said. So that answers your question. When the reality becomes the thought, that's your issue. When the thought becomes the reality, there is evolution. Okay. Alright, so what it's saying is that when we let our reality master our thoughts, then we have negativity, depression, then we're giving our power away to those around us and everything around us, and we're not taking our power for ourselves. Okay. You know, but however, if we change our perception, is that we are that reality. We create that reality with the way that we are thinking. If we think flowers and, you know, lilies and butterflies, then we're gonna find flowers, lilies, and butterflies in our reality, correct? We find what we look for. Okay, so if our thought is this world is negative, this world is this, again, that's letting the reality become the thought. Then, you know what? If we look for doom and gloom, then we find it. If we look for beauty and love and peace, then that's what we find. You guys, you know, understand that in your day-to-day life. You know, kind of be more aware of what you're looking for, because then, you know, then they're gonna find that. All right. It's just like looking for faces. If you look for faces and things and different things or planets, or you're gonna find faces. I mean, that's just how it goes. If you're looking for Waldo, you're gonna find Waldo, you know, or something like it. Okay. I'm always down for late night lives. Me too. Me too. And it takes so long to set up sometimes. Sometimes that's why I'm so late, is I start setting up earlier. But by the time I'm done with setting up, it's like already late. So sometimes it's not on purpose. Okay, let me go back here. There's some questions there. Okay, like that. Recently, a lot of my past lessons are repeating. I know the spirit is trying to tell me make sure I've learned them. I hope I get an A plus this time around. Well, you and me both, hon. You and me both. Okay, true, but something happened about 2007, something like that. Okay. And you know what? Our past lessons are going to repeat until we understand them. And by understanding them, I mean understand why we had to go through that. What are we supposed to be learning about ourselves or other people as to why this keeps repeating the way it does. And things repeat in the same manner but slightly different way. Like if the person was wearing a red shirt whenever they interacted with me, the next time they might be wearing a blue shirt. There's some of the details might be a little bit different. However, they're good. It's the same lesson in a slightly different situation. Okay. Alright, got a little alive. It's weird. Hold on, guys. I got a little. Okay, that was really weird. Like a little bump on my hand, and then it got like it was almost like a. I did not see that before. Okay, moving on. I'm sorry. That is not supposed to be a distraction. Okay, let me ask. Do you know if Maya predicted this year the end of the world? The calendar 2012, I think. So they did not predict the end of the world. What they predicted is the end of an era, the end of a cycle. And if you really study the Mayan calendar, you find that it goes in Kali Yugas, they call it. So a Kali Yuga is a certain number of years, and I want to say it's like 25, 60 or something like that. So each cycle, each Yuga, they call it YUGA, they call it, is so many years. So what they predicted is just the end of that era, and 2012 began the Kali Yuga. That is what we're in now. So it's just a different era. It's just that end of that cycle, the end of that repeat of so many years. And then now we're in a different cycle. And what that Mayan calendar is, guys, is it's the cycle of our solar system with our Earth in it, revolving around the center of the galaxy. Okay, just like how the Earth revolves around the sun, okay, and makes one revolution every 365 days. Well, our solar system is also rotating around the center of the galaxy. Okay, and there is a central sun there, just like how there's a sun in the middle of our solar system. There is a central sun in the center of the galaxy that everything rotates around that. So each cycle of so many years is each a different place in this galaxy. And each different place in the galaxy has a different energy composition and concentration in it. Okay, now we're going into an area of the galaxy that the energy is, it's more concentrated. But it's actually lighter. Okay, well, and by lighter I mean more positively charged. Okay, not necessarily. When I say more concentrated, you would think heavier, but it is heavier in a sense, but it's also it's more lighter as far as how it's going to affect our bodies. How is it going to affect the planetary bodies? Okay, it is actually more light. Okay, so when we're moving through this different energy level of the galaxy, we change. Okay, our energetic bodies have to adjust, just like moving the badger onto this island that had no food source, then it would adapt to finding a different food source. When in a completely different atmosphere, completely different surroundings, completely different air quality. Okay, we're like moving into a different area to where our energy quality is completely different and more positive. And each time we move through a different cycle, the age of Aquarius, absolutely. And it also correlates with the ages. Okay, that's why they made each cycle so long, because it completely moves us into that new age. It completely, absolutely lines up with the different ages as well. Absolutely. And that's exactly why they named it each age the way they did. Okay, we're just moving into an area of the galaxy where the constellation Aquarius is moving energy into our solar system. So each time we make one revolution around, which is 25,000 years. So every 25,000 years, there is a energetic wave released from this central galactic sun, which if you go to the YouTube channel, the Healing Oracle 1111, and find this video, I have done an entire video on what this galactic wave is once every 25,000 years. I forget the name of it. Let me see here. So it's on the YouTube channel, the Healing Oracle 1111. Go find it, guys. I did a whole video on the galactic wave every 25,000 years. Let me go find it here. Okay. Human. Okay, it might be in the video that's Humanity's Galactic Heritage. It could be with that one. The self, what is time? It could be under time. I think it's under Galactic Heritage, though. It talks about, again, the energetic wave every 25,000 years. It talks about the Kali Yuga. It talks about all kinds of stuff on there. So, very put together videos. I tried to put in some very cool pictures in these videos to keep you kind of watching and stimulated while you're watching. I've gotten enough information in my last couple of meditation sessions that I can make a couple more videos. So I probably will. So can you leave your YouTube address? Yep. And let me just type it in here. Okay, so the Healing Oracle 1111. Please subscribe, guys, too. I'm telling you, my goal, my main beautiful, wonderful goal that I have right now is that I would love to be more available to you guys. If I could build up the YouTube channel enough, of course, now there's less people on whenever I say this. This is how that works. I'm being censored on YouTube so much. But my main goal right now is to build up the YouTube channel so that I could, kind of take over and be monetized on there to where I can pay my rent, pay my mortgage, pay my bills there, because I want to do this all day, every day. I want to be up here teaching classes to you guys. I want to offer those classes. I want to offer more video sessions to you guys. I want to be more available to you guys. I want to do this all day. And I want to have a space to do this all day. Can you imagine me coming on every day? I would just absolutely love that. I really, really want that. But I can't do that. I have to work a day job. So that leaves me less time, to come on here, and I have to kind of, minimize it to the weekends and that. Not that I don't want to. I often, many times throughout the week, think about coming on and then, just having to work on that. But, so I want to build up the YouTube channel enough to where I can be monetized on that, to where I can do this all day, every day. So please share the YouTube channel to your friends, whoever you think would like it. There's a lot of great information on there. The Healing Oracle 1111. I typed it out there, so go find it. You'll see me. So YouTube channel, the Healing Oracle 1111 again. I really want to do that, so because I think that being up here doing my lives, yes, it's helping you guys, and that's my main thing, but I'll tell you what, it's also helping me, because each time I come on live, I get like an energetic surge from it, and I learn, I teach myself, and I understand things more about myself, as well as I'm also helping you guys, so it's like, get a double whammy there. And I love it. So I want to do this every day. I want this to be my job, guys. I want giving you guys answers. I want that to be my job. And I don't really think about it as a job because I love doing it. Again, it's helping me just as much as you guys, So please share it to friends, family, coworkers, whoever you think would be interested in this stuff. I want to be able to make more videos on there too. Unfortunately, right now I don't have the time. But like I said, I've got potentially 3 videos I can make right now with the information that I've channeled through in the past week. And I just don't have time to. But if I could make that, my job, that would be wonderful. So I want to build that up, that YouTube channel up as much as I can. So, there are 18,000 people that follow the Facebook page, The Healing Oracle. If each one of those people would subscribe to the YouTube channel, I wouldn't be here right now because I would have been able to been on all day. Okay. So, yeah, everyone should do what they love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I will. Thank you, person. Awesome. I appreciate it very much. Cool. But yep, so there's that. Thank you guys very much for listening to that spiel. I swear, I am censored so much. Now I will share a picture from the Facebook page, and the reach is like thousands of people see it. I share something from the YouTube channel to the Facebook page to try to kind of get more traffic to there, and like 50 people see it, as opposed to 5,000 just saw the post before that. So it doesn't make any sense. That's obvious censorship. But when you're dealing with social media and that, they don't, they have a hard time allowing us to see and speak the truth sometimes. So I used to have a heck of a time getting on Facebook Live. Now they used to shut down randomly, and 2 and 3 times. It's crazy. I do feel like things are changing though. Especially in the past couple of weeks. If you guys weren't aware, actually, Google completely did not censor anything there for a few days, especially right after the lockdown first started. It did not censor anything. So you were able to go on and find out the most incredible things. And a lot of people were taking advantage of that and taking screenshots. So things are changing. And you're finding more alternative news sites becoming more trustworthy, and truthful and authentic. And of course I thought that anyway, but it's becoming more knowledgeable that the alternative news sites are more truthful than your mainstream medias. That's been going on forever, guys, just so you know. That's been going on for a long time. The mainstream media has not been truthful with us for a very, very long time. If you really want to know the truth, go to your back alternative news sites, okay? Those are the ones that are telling the truth. Sometimes it seems a little far-fetched, some of the things that they post, but I promise you it's the truth, believe it or not. And these are the things that are going to be coming out here in the next couple of weeks, too. I mean, you saw it, the last couple of weeks was crazy. Wait till we get in the next couple of weeks. So there's a lot of things that it's going to come out that's very disturbing. That I don't want it to be disturbing, but it will be. But it needs to be, because the more that it gets out and the more that we're aware of this happening, we can heal it. We can fix it. We can heal it. We can't heal what we don't know is there. Okay. We heal things that we're aware of. We heal things that we understand, and can see, or feel. Let's see, big changes on the way. So be happy, if you're ready for changes for the good. Absolutely. It's going to be changing incredibly fast and incredibly good. Here in the next couple of weeks. And things have happened all for a reason. Okay, there is a reason for everything. I hate that it's happened the way it has, but some things are needed to kickstart some evolution, just like I was saying earlier. I will say that mainstream media has completely blown this up way, way, way more than it needed to be. If they're doing this stuff, locking down, social distancing, shutting down church services, and, you can't go outside without a mask. You know what? If they're doing that for this and now with the numbers that we see, numbers, I mean cases and deaths and that, then we should have been doing this every year with the flu, the regular flu, because the regular flu has killed 10 times more people than this thing has each year. Okay? Each year. So there is something not right about this. And actually, one of the first messages that came through in my meditation tonight was pertaining to that. It said, she said, my guide, Malaya, she said, the first thing she said to me was, why did they shut down? So ask yourselves. I'm supposed to ask yourselves. I'm supposed to tell you to ask yourselves. Why did they really shut down? Ask yourselves that. There's something not right about it, I'm telling you. I feel it from day one, or before day one, because I saw it coming. I saw something coming. Why did they really shut down? It ain't what it is, not what we think it is. There's a lot more to it. We're not being told the whole story. But I think we've kind of turned it around in our favor, because things are, more people are home, more people are able to be on the internet, more people are able to find out more of the truth on these, alternative media sites and that. So, we kind of turned it around on them. So lots of things happening behind the scenes. I know what they're doing, psychically I know what they're doing. And I think some other, psychics and mediums are aware of what's going on too. Was mass manipulation, call you what, but they could have handled all of this better. Yes. Has failed the Pleiades from which my starseed self has come changes from top to bottom, so to speak. Yeah, yep, I 100% agree with you, hon. After I talked with Mayela a little bit in my meditation, something did come through. I did get a vision, guys, and I will explain this vision. Let me find my note here, what I do with it. So I got a vision after I was talking to her for a little bit, and I saw all of a sudden, I was seeing the sky. I was looking up at the sky, and I saw, and I heard the number 1,000. So I heard the number 1,000, and I was seeing white horses in the sky. And each one of these 1,000 white horses each had a rider. So there were 1,000 riders per 1,000 white horses. And each of the rider was wearing white robes. Okay? And I couldn't see features, faces. I don't know what they look like. They were shaped human. I can only imagine that, you know, they had a similar attribute. So, and so I saw 1,000 white horses in the sky with 1,000 white riders is what I saw in the sky right now. So that tells me that we are getting help coming in, and there is from the light side. So, and then it kind of went on to me asking her, are we going to be seeing more activities in the sky? Is there a lot of you coming in right now? And the answer I got was yes. So there are a lot of light forces coming in through the sky via portals, via energetic tunnels, portals, you know, jump gates, you know, whatever you want to call it. They're portaling in right now, and they're going to be helping us energetically. Now, again, I've said before on the last live feed that they can't really help us physically because, you know, some of this is our own karma collectively that we're repeating, so they can't really interfere with anything karmic related because that's us, that's all us. Just like if they had their karma they had to deal with, you know, that's on them. But energetically they're helping us, they're reaching out, they're, you know, just like my guides, they're reaching in and offering messages of inspiration and guidance and you know, they're muses for us. They can help us out that way, you know, and they can do energetic healings and, you know, all of that business, but anything to do with karma, they can't interfere with. So they're coming. So don't be surprised. Now you heard it from me first, you know, just FYI. Don't be surprised if in the next couple of weeks there is a major increase in sightings in the skies, especially at night when you can see them best because of the light reflecting off the ships. So, again, you heard it from me first. There will be several sightings in the next couple of weeks. Mass sightings. Hard to ignore sightings. Yeah. Several. Okay. Alright. Oh my god. In New York, it's crazy. I've been in the house for 2 weeks and I had to go to the laundry. I don't know why I can't see it on mine. Okay. I can see your comment over here, but I can't see it on my phone, Aaron. So let me see here. They have special lines in and out. The store aisles are here. Constant tags and tape and said social distance by, yeah, nobody was listening. I know. Mask, sanitizer when we get done, but it's really scary here. And Aaron, you know what? I will say, and it may not be everywhere, but I had a patient whose granddaughter whose daughter and granddaughter live in New York somewhere, exactly where the epicenter was supposed to be. And the granddaughter is a nurse at one of the hospitals, and she was visiting. Well, no, she wasn't visiting. They were FaceTiming each other whenever I got there, and on his little iPad that he's got. And she was saying that the media's lying. It's not bad there at all. In fact, they had to lay off a couple of nurses because it's so dead. The media is not being truthful about this. She works in the hospital that they were saying that was like completely slammed, and you know, people were running around like crazy and crash carts going, and you know, she's like, that's not true. We've had to lay off a couple of nurses. So basically she was saying flat out that they were lying. Yeah, and they did get caught. Let me see if I can't bring this up here on here, because let me type this in. because they got caught using footage from an Italian hospital, and they reported it as news, saying that it was just absolutely crazy. Let me see if I can't find it. Footage from... Let me see. Oh, well, shoot. But here I brought it up on. That's funny. Rather conspicuous. Okay, here we go. I had to go through a back. Oh no, it's backwards, isn't it? It's backwards. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, it's just really rather interesting, and but this is happening in a lot of places that we're finding out, and you guys know that I'm watching. I'm watching every media outlet. If you really pay attention to your own energy, you can use your own discernment, and maybe that's a lot of the lesson right now for a lot of us is learning how to discern the truth from the fiction, or what's fear mongering, or what's manipulation. I mean, if I could count how many times we're manipulated by media, I mean, I probably couldn't. I probably wouldn't live long enough to be able to count all that. Okay. And you know what? I think that a lot of this is going to come out. I really feel like that. A lot of this is going to come out soon, and we're going to be